And welcome to this week's Colonial Sports Center.
We have an exciting show this week due to spring sports starting up. And you know, the winter sports are coming to a close, and it's exciting seeing where they are in the conference race, but we get to look forward to some of the spring sports. We've got men's and women's lacrosse, and we're going to talk about where they were picked respectively in their leagues, but we've also got softball starting things up.
Yes, and later in the show we'll even have a little piece done by our very own Len Poe, kind of previewing the season, seeing what we should expect from the softball team this year, and kind of talking about their season last year.
But before we get into the spring sports, lacrosse and softball, we've got to jump to basketball. Both teams have had turbulent seasons, to say the least. The women's are doing pretty well, but the men's team tonight they were in action. Yeah,
the Colonials, they were down in Pittsburgh, PA, at the AJ Palumbo Center, taking on the Bryant Bulldogs tonight. They just snapped their 4-game win streak against LIU Brooklyn, so it's kind of being an exciting moment here tonight to see if they can build momentum going into the postseason, David.
Yeah, a little bit of a turnaround and to see what they could do.
Yeah, and let's jump right into that recap real quick and see how they did tonight down at the AJ Palumbo Center. And as we see here, the Colonials defeated the Bulldogs 83-60 with Deshaun Burke scoring 27 points and getting 5 rebounds. Kobe Thomas had 15 points and 8 rebounds. And Maddie McConnell had 13 points and 6 rebounds. A great showing tonight by the Colonials against Bryant at home court. That's 2 games now that they've won in a row, so we're going to have to wait and see what they can do later here in the season.
It was a great performance tonight by the men's basketball team against Bryant. But what led the team to this win was the momentum that they built playing LIU Brooklyn this past weekend. Having lost a few in a row, the team looked like they were collapsing amid NEC play, but they found a way to turn things around. It was a terrific offensive performance on the road by the Colonials. And they went into this game a little short-handed. They only had 9 players that were going to be able to play, and 2 of them fouled out in just 8 minutes of play. Dave Cole and Coleman, which was tough. But you know, you got to turn to your big-time player, Deshaun Burke, who had 4 fouls, but right there, he gets a bucket, and he did end up the night with 29 points. And Maddie McConnell here throwing it out to Deshaun, and he didn't only score with that big assist to Kobe Thomas with the slam.
Big slam. The clock on top of the board was moving. That's a big slam.
It was. And right here you can see Deshaun with the Euro. No slam, but the nice finesse touch to get a bucket. And here, LIU's going to play a little defense. They're going to try to get back into it with the steal from Maddie McConnell. And a huge slam there, too, by LIU. But it would not be enough as John Williams would drive, and he would dish out to Bain, who was 3 for 3 from 3, leading them to this win. And it was truly a momentum swing of a win. Short-handed, the Colonials got the job done, winning by 14 points on the road. They even had a bucket from walk-on Seth Rouse. The leading scorer for the NEC Player of the Week was Deshaun Burke with 29 points, and Maddie McConnell also contributed 23 points in this offensive rout.
After losing in their first 2 matchups of the season against RIT, the Colonials were hoping to come back home to Colonial Arena this past weekend and beat the RIT Tigers at home and gain points moving into the AHC postseason. Let's jump right into it. Colonials versus Tigers. Here we go. First one here, Luke Lynch, backhand goal. Lynch's 13th goal this season, tying Brady Ferguson for goals leading the team. Jumping into the second period now, a goal by RIT's Gabe Valenzuela. In the 3 games they've played so far against Robert Morris, Valenzuela has 1 goal and 4 assists against Robert Morris. Now another here, quick breakout, 2-on-1 here. Great save by Francis Murat.
Ooh.
This would be his 3rd 4-goal game of the season now.
Uh-oh. Yeah, you know, it's not great, but you can't always shoulder him with the blame. Defense is the blame as well.
You're completely right. That one was Bryson Traptel, his first goal in his collegiate career. Congratulations to the young man. Another quick look here. As you see, a lot of traffic in front of the net for RIT. Murat just didn't see it. And in the third period here, Alex Dagnall with a good shot, top shelf, gets the goal, his first goal of his senior season. Robert Morris was hunted down by the RIT Tigers in the 3rd matchup between the 2 teams this season. RIT shot past the Colonials after scoring 4 straight goals, 3 of them coming in the second period, and the 4th in the game-deciding goal coming in the 3rd. The Colonials' late effort was not enough to defeat the Tigers in their first game of the weekend, but they would have another shot at revenge the next day.
Greg, it was a bitter 1-goal loss for the Colonials, but fortunately, like you said, they did get their chance for revenge the very next night at Colonial Arena. Let's go and see if the Colonials could avoid losing all 4 contests this season against RIT. And Colonials are going to get on the board here early with Timmy Moore scoring. And what a season it has been. The assist there by Powers and Alex Stange. Terrific. You're going to get to see this goal just 1 or 2 more times. And Timmy Moore, great season, great goal, putting the Colonials up early, at home, everything going their way to finally get a win against RIT. But RIT is going to answer here, and they're going to get a pretty nice goal. Pretty good stick movement there. Murat couldn't stop it. But Brady Ferguson's going to go top left and say, no, Colonials are going to take the 2-1 lead. But RIT comes right back, and they score a bunch in a row. And part of the reason of why they were able to score this much was the Colonials had 9 penalties. 3 alone for Luke Lynch. It's tough to win a game when you're shorthanded that much of the game. So RIT is going to run away with this win here with another goal there. Murat had no chance at stopping that or that one. I mean, defense was a struggle in this game. The Colonials did jump out to that early 2-1 lead, but RIT would not go away easy. They scored the next 5 goals to win 6-2. Scoring for the Colonials was Timmy Moore, who is having a terrific season, and Brady Ferguson. Next up for the men's is a home and away series with Mercyhurst. And to discuss the outlook for the team is Logan Carney joining Greg Sutton.
And thank you, David. But Logan, thank you for coming in tonight, taking time out of your busy schedule to come in and talk to us about this men's hockey team.
Of course, anytime.
And let's just jump right into things here. So this past weekend wasn't very generous to the Colonials, dropping both games, losing both games, one by 1 goal and the other by a lot more than 1. And so, Logan, what did you see in those 2 games that is out of the ordinary for the Colonials?
Well, they've now 0-4 against RIT this year. So all 4 games that they play against RIT, they lost, unfortunately. So every team's just had their number this year, and that happens. But you look at it, and I'm sure you look at the box score specifically. What stood out was 8 penalties on Robert Morris. Now Robert Morris has the worst penalty kill team in the entire conference. So when you give up 8 penalties, you're just not going to win the game. When you give the other team 8 power plays, regardless of who it is, you're not going to win when you're Robert Morris, when your penalty kill unit just has not been that great this year.
So speaking of special teams for Robert Morris, but along with that penalty kill, that bad penalty kill bottom of the AHC, they also have one of the best power play units. But they weren't quite able to access that as RIT played a much cleaner game.
Yeah, I mean, their team, they've had really good games in the power play, and they've had really bad games. I've witnessed games where they went 0-5 on the power play, and then I witnessed another game this year when they were 3-5. So that team, it needs to be a little bit more consistent, especially when we get towards the playoffs. That's one of the things where they need to be great on both sides of the ice, whether it's power play or penalty killing.
So after we've seen those 2 games, Francis Murat didn't play the 3rd period in either one of them. So being important with that, if you were Coach Schooley in this situation, would you stick with Francis Murat after him only playing 4 periods out of the 6, or would you try and switch it up with Andrew Pickle?
I would stick with Murat, personally. I would stick with Murat because, you look at earlier in the season when they were struggling as a team overall, Murat was still consistently there and still performed. Even towards the middle of the season when they started to pick things up, we saw the game against, it was number 11 team in the country, named Providence. Providence, whenever Murat only gave up 2 goals and played phenomenal in that game. They have those, if they stick with him, I think this is just one of those bad stretches that once he gets past, and I don't think that they can win in the playoffs without him, personally.
So, one last thing here before we go, Logan. We don't see a lot of contribution from the 3rd or 4th lines. Do you think that could play a role going into the postseason for the Colonials?
Oh, definitely. I mean, you need to get better. The whole team. The whole team needs to get better. They need to score more. They have one of the better offenses in the conference. But as far as the power play and everything, that's really the big key. I mean, the 3rd and 4th line can get better as much as. They can get significantly better. But if they still give up 8 penalties, like they did against RIT, and their penalty kill unit is just it's the statistically the worst in the conference, they're not going to win the games if that doesn't improve. And that's really the key moving forward.
All right, Logan, hey, thanks for coming in tonight. Like I said earlier, thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule. But when we come back, we're going to jump into a lot more highlights. And later in the show, we're going to have that piece on the softball team previewing their season and the last year's season by our very own Delenn Poe. You're not going to want to miss it. Come back after the commercial break.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham-bam minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
Here at Robert Morris University, we pride ourselves at the experience that our students gain while they're actively learning in the classroom. Some even come back to share that knowledge with new students.
I never dreamed that I'd be back here. I'm having so much fun. I'm doing a lot of what I was trained to do and what I went to school for.
The Colonial Sports Network is a great opportunity for students to learn real job skills in sports programming.
To be able to see what the students want to make of it, because it can be anything that they want.
I love being here, seeing students, seeing myself in the students that work with me, and I'm really blessed to have so much talent to work with. It's really amazing.
To be able to see students become successful after Robert Morris is really cool.
Join the Colonial Sports Network team and expand your future today.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool.
To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
And welcome back to this week's episode of Colonial Sports Center. Dave, let's just jump right back into the swing of things.
It was just a few shows ago that we were discussing the rut that the women's hockey team was in, but they have been on fire their last 4 games. Heading into this Lindenwood game, they were feeling good, looking to move up in the CHA standings. The girls took the ice. It was a classic 1-0 game. The girls won another and moved up in the CHA standings. Scoring the lone goal for the Colonials was, of course, Brittany Howard, the Dapper Dan Sportswoman of the Year. And it was goalie Elijah Monet-Price who posted a shutout. Great performance by the ladies.
And after defeating the Lions of Lindenwood the day before, the Colonials looked to repeat the success they had that day before. But this time, as the last time, the seniors would play in front of a home crowd in the Colonial Arena. And as we see here, the first little clip we have here, great pass from point to point, goal Brittany Howard, and that would make her the all-time goal-scoring leader in Robert Morris women's history. Congratulations to her. The second one we're going to see here, Emily Curlick goal. She has the 5th most goals on the team. That's number 5 on the team. A quick break here for the shot block. Chopped up. A lot of confusion here in front of the net. Lindenwood tries to clear. Can't quite get it out. But Robert Morris gains control, tries cycling. They start to cycle. And the rebound, big juicy one, just leaks through. And Amanda Pantaleo able to net the goal. Second lowest goal scoring season since freshman year for Curlick, only with 4 goals.
Ooh.
The third one here. Goal by Angelica Diffendahl. The second highest shooting percentage with 15.8% on the team. And then the last one here, 4-on-4 hockey, third period. Colonials net their 5th goal. JC Gebhard. Gebhard is second in points and assists on the season behind Howard. The women's hockey team was able to complete the weekend sweep against Lindenwood at home with the help of the outstanding seniors in the lineup. Senior Brittany Howard rounded out the game with 1 goal and 2 assists, and her fellow senior Amanda Pantaleo also had a goal against Lindenwood. While goaltender Elijah Milne-Price recorded her 4th shutout in Robert Morris jersey. With their 2 wins this season, with this weekend, they moved up into first place in the CHA. And after scoring that first goal in the second game on Saturday afternoon against Lindenwood, senior Brittany Howard became the all-time career goals leader in Robert Morris women's hockey program history. It was an even more special moment due to it coming during senior night, the senior night game. Therefore, her mother and father were both present to witness this great achievement that further etches Brittany Howard into the record books here at Robert Morris University. Congratulations to Brittany Howard and all of her accomplishments here at Robert Morris University.
The best team on campus right now may just be the women's basketball team. Heading into this contest against St. Francis Brooklyn, the ladies had only dropped 1 game in conference all season. A 3rd straight NEC title looked promising, but this matchup would be revealing. and you'll see what I mean, Greg. You know, they're going on the road, and right here for St. Francis, Jay Johnson knocks down 2 3-pointers early in the game to really get St. Francis out there early. And when you're on the road and you get down early, it's tough to get the energy up. And really, they just struggled to score all night. You know, on the road, they couldn't score. They're up by 4 right here, and they get a quick one before half to go up 6. But when we head into the third here, St. Francis starts to make their charge, and they're at home, and they seem to have everything going their way. The largest lead of the game for the Colonials was 6, and it would not last heading into the fourth quarter, where St. Francis would take the lead. And the Colonials here are trying to come back, but they couldn't get that shot to fall. But here, Megan Smith with another chance at a game winner. No, that one's not good, although she did hit one earlier this season. It was an ugly performance for both teams. The Colonials shot 35% from the field and a really bad 23% in the second half. One reason for this performance was Ikamatsu, who may be the team's best spot-up shooter. She shot 0 for 6 from 3 on the night. Bright spots for the Colonials were Smith and Polvos. Look for the woman to turn things around this Saturday at home against Fairleigh Dickinson.
And after losing their first matchup of the season on the road against the nationally ranked Rutgers by a tally of 11-7, the Robert Morris men's lacrosse team was hoping to reel in an early season victory and also their first of the season against Bellarmine in Louisville, Kentucky. Last year they defeated Bellarmine 10-8. Let's jump right into this highlight here. We're going to see a lot of great movement there, but a quick goal by Ryan Smith. He has goals in both of the games so far this season. A great way to start off. Here, a really low goal there, low swing of the stick by Marshall Gibson. His first goal of the season. But that's not the last time we're going to hear from Marshall Gibson. Here we see him again with a goal, his second goal of the season.
Good start.
2 goals on 3 shots. 2
Really
goals on
good
3
start.
shots. That's amazing. And now we're going to see Bellarmine kind of moving the ball around and able to net the ball. Landon Trout, his second of this game for him and third of the season so far. Now we're going to jump into the fourth quarter real quick as we see Bellarmine moving the ball around again. Pass and another goal for Bellarmine. And the Colonials were able to defeat the Knights and repeat history with a goal of 15-7. Corson Keeley was able to score 3 goals on the day to help boost them over the Knights. Robert Morris scored the same amount of goals as Bellarmine in the third quarter alone. This Saturday, the Colonials will be on their home turf at Joe Walton Stadium to take on Georgetown Saturday at 1 p.m.
The women's lacrosse team also began their season this past weekend at Joe Walton Stadium, where they posted a terrific 7-1 record last season. Despite losing some key players to both graduation and transferring, the team was picked 3rd in the NEC. On Saturday, they played one of their few out-of-conference opponents, Bucknell, and they did look pretty good. The team's only struggle was to find the back of the net. They looked solid defensively, played like a team, but they fell in double overtime 5-4. Scoring for the Colonials was Gandy, Griffin, and Davis. A difficult loss to start the season, but the outlook is certainly bright.
And the Colonial softball team traveled to Cleveland to take part in the Cleveland State Dome tournament this past weekend to take on NEC competitors such as Canisius and Niagara. The Colonials dropped all 4 games played over the weekend in Cleveland. In the first game, they took the field against the Niagara Purple Eagles and were defeated by a score of 3-0. Robert Morris had 2 errors in the match, and Niagara had 8 hits. The second game was against the Cleveland State Vikings, and the Vikings pillaged the Colonials, winning by 1 run. The Colonials were only able to play 8 runs, while Cleveland was able to score 9 in 7 innings of play. The next day, the competition brought 2 more games for the Colonials. The first game of the day was against NEC opponent, the Canisius Golden Griffins, and they were defeated by another 1-run difference. With a 1-run difference in the game came a 1-hit difference and tallied another 2-error game. The final matchup of the tournament in the weekend for the Colonials was against the Bowling Green Falcons, and the Falcons were able to soar past Robert Morris 8-1. The Colonials' next game is tomorrow in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, against Kent State. And now we have a lot more coming up. We're not quite done yet, David.
No, we're not. We were going to talk a little bit more about softball. I know the first weekend they struggled. They didn't get off to a great start, but the team looks bright. They were previewed pretty well in the NEC, so we're going to have to see learn a little bit more about this softball team coming up.
Yeah, and speaking of the preview, we are going to have a piece done by our very own Delempo, kind of previewing the season that they're going to have this year and also the season from last year. So you're going to want to come back after commercial break to see that for yourself.
Could possibly start a wildfire. How will Smokey deal with such a hot situation? The garden hose defense. Next, a thorough stir. Then another spray. And finally, feeling if the ashes are cool.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, yes, the selfie. A ritual practiced so frequently with this tribe, but not so much by Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary. Smokey! Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to Colonial Sports Center, and here at Robert Morris, we've got something cool in the athletic department. Craig Coleman's not only the athletic director, but also the head coach of the softball team. And so with both of these roles comes a lot of responsibility, but he's been with the softball program for a long time, so he really understands where this team's headed and how they're doing. So we have a package.
Yeah, we have a little piece by our very own Delempo, and let's just see what we're supposed to expect from the softball team this year.
We have 3 seniors. Olivia is one of our seniors, and we also have Ashley Groover as one of our seniors, and Kristen Prey, who we call KP. And they're really the leaders of our team this year.
I personally think our team has improved greatly on communication. Communication is kind of rough here and there last season. I mean, communication is key, is what it comes down to. I think by having good communication, we can just be able to work together, understand one another better to make those plays and calls as a team.
And it's very difficult to win if you don't have good players. So I give the credit to the quality of the players that we've been able to recruit to our program. And when you've got a successful program, it makes it a little easier to attract good players to your program. We have seen some pretty significant improvement from them here at practice. The real test will obviously be when we face competition, but we think that their pitches are crisper, their ball is moving better, they're hitting their spots better, and we're expecting some real improvement from our pitchers.
As a player, it's very important to collaborate with one another and be able to make decisions together, since it's a team sport. And as a person, they've really helped me build my character better. I mean, I've become more individualized and been able to cooperate better with my teammates, which allows success in the end.
We'll have some information about the hitters that we will use to call pitches. You don't want to be too predictable when you call pitches. You want to keep people guessing. But the real key is to get as much ball movement as you can and to change speeds, so that so much of hitting is timing. You really want your hitters not to be able to tell when you're going to throw heat at them and when you're going to throw something softer. That whole sophomore class has the potential to just be outstanding. And I'm not going to predict which one of them is going to come out on top in terms of batting average or anything like that, but I think as a group they're going to really make us better.
We actually only have one freshman this year. Her name's Katie Clark. We expect big things from her, actually. Even though she's only a freshman, she stays very focused, both on and off the field. She's very intelligent in the classroom. She's very focused. She's well communicated with us. So I think she's going to adapt very easily here.
Christine just finished her college career as a pitcher, pitched for Lehigh, pitched extremely well, took her team last year to the NCAA tournament, was the Patriot League Pitcher of the Year, and she's really done a nice job with teaching our pitchers some things both physically and mentally that are going to make them better.
And another great piece done by our very own Delenn Poe. Thank you to her for being able to get out there and do this piece for the softball team.
And sports this week, it was an incredible week, and we put together the week that was, and we're also going to talk about the week that will be next week after this break.
As these hot ashes are about to be dumped, which could possibly start a wildfire. How will Smokey deal with such a hot situation? The garden hose defense. Next, a thorough stir. Then another spray. And finally, feeling if the ashes are cool.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, yes, the selfie. A ritual practiced so frequently with this tribe, but not so much by Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary. Smokey! Only you can prevent wildfires.
And welcome back to Colonial Sports Center here. Let's take a look at real quick about the games that are upcoming this week at Robert Morris Athletics. And so a big thing this weekend is going to be the games against Mercyhurst for the men's hockey team. So that's really important for them. They're going to build those points up to the postseason.
It is. That's a big game. You know, CHA standings are big, and, you know, they struggled last weekend, but I think that they can turn things around here at Mercyhurst.
All right, and thank you for tuning in tonight. But before we go, let's go real quick to a new segment we have here in Colonial Sports Center, The Week That Was.
Thanks for joining us.
Ferguson has tied the all-time career points record here at RMU.
Some great highlights there, and things are only going to get better as we continue with the spring sports starting.
Yeah, it's just going to get way more exciting, David, as the winter sports start to close and we start to see those spring sports such as track and field and softball start to take place. So it's just going to be an exciting part of the year for Rob Morris.
It is. We're going to get more and more sports involved in the week that was and the top plays that are there. But thank you guys for joining us here on Colonial Sports Center, and we're looking forward to see you guys next Thursday.